Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This time we're going way back to ancient China
Okay.
and taking a look at acupuncture.
Yeah.
Specifically, we're going to be...
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We're going to be cracking open the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Internal Medicine.
Right.
And we're not talking about like a regular textbook.
No, not a textbook at all. More like a dialogue.
Yeah, it's a dialogue.
Between the legendary Yellow Emperor, Huangdi, and his physician, Bo.
Right.
And occasionally we have another voice chime in, and it's Gong.
Okay, so picture this.
Okay.
We've stumbled upon this like exclusive gathering in ancient China where these secrets are being shared.
Yeah.
From, master to student.
Right.
And, the emperor makes it clear this knowledge is for worthy ears only. And I thought that was really interesting how they set the stage for this whole text.
Yeah.
It's not just information.
It's power.
It's power.
Yes. Definitely.
And they understood that even way back then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that idea of responsibility and respect for the knowledge really permeates that whole dialogue. Makes you think, thousands of years ago, they recognized the potential impact of this practice.
So let's get into the heart of it.
Okay.
What are some of the core principles of acupuncture?
Well, the first thing that struck me was their emphasis on the interconnectedness of the body.
Okay.
They talk about form and qi, the interplay of yin and yang, the flow of blood and qi, and the intricate network of meridians.
Meridians, for anyone listening who's never heard of them.
Right.
Imagine, this network of like invisible channels flowing throughout your body, carrying this energy, this qi to every cell.
Yeah.
It's like a hidden highway system, getting everything connected.
Right. And functioning.
And how did they diagnose what was going wrong with this really intricate system?
Did they have x-rays or something?
Yeah. Did they have ancient x-rays?
Not quite x-rays, but what's fascinating is how much they emphasized observation.
Okay.
They talk about things like knotted collaterals and sunken bones.
Interesting.
I mean, really vivid imagery that brings to life the idea that illness manifests not only internally, but also externally.
I see.
And they go even further, talking about observing like color zones.
Wait, so they could diagnose illness by just
looking at someone's skin.
Looking at someone's skin.
Yeah.
What did they see that we're missing today?
Right. What are we missing?
With our fancy technology.
With all our fancy technology, right?
Right.
It's really incredible. They believe that like changes in complexion, texture, and even specific areas of the skin could reveal imbalances in a person's internal state.
So, like, think about it. Like, even today, we know that stress can show up on our skin.
Absolutely.
Or that certain diseases have, like, visible markers.
Yeah. Perhaps they were tapping into a level of observation that we've lost touch with.
Yeah.
As we become reliant on technology, technology.
It makes you wonder how much we could learn.
It's fascinating.
By combining that ancient wisdom with our modern understanding of the body.
Absolutely.
So once they identified the imbalance, what did they do about it?
Well, is that where the needles come in?
That's where the needles come in.
Okay.
The text delves into the art of acupuncture.
Okay.
Specifically, how to manipulate the flow of qi.
Using various techniques that talk about tonification, draining, and balancing.
So it's not just about like sticking a needle anywhere.
No.
What is the intended effect?
Yeah, what's
the each technique?
Intended effect,
Like say tonification. How does that actually work on the body's energy?
So tonification is described as using like gentle lifting motions with the needle to guide qi towards the center of the body.
Interesting.
Imagine it like encouraging a gentle flow of energy to replenish areas of deficiency.
So like giving it a boost.
Kind of like giving a boost,
To a sluggish area.
To a sluggish area, exactly.
Okay, so tonification is like adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, you could say that.
So to speak, what about draining?
Okay, so draining uses more of like a dispersing technique.
Okay.
Employing circular motions and rapid rotation to move excess qi outward.
Gotcha.
Think of it like unclogging a dam.
Okay.
Releasing built-up pressure.
Yeah.
And allowing for smoother flow.
Okay, so tonification is like boosting energy, where it's lacking.
Yeah.
Draining is releasing where there's too much.
Exactly.
And balancing, I'm guessing, is finding that middle ground.
Balancing is all about achieving harmony.
Okay.
It's about fine-tuning the flow of Qi, ensuring that it's neither too strong nor too weak, but circulating smoothly throughout the body.
It's like they understood that the body has this innate intelligence.
Right.
And these techniques are about nudging it back into balance.
Absolutely.
Rather than like forcing change.
It's not about forcing it.
Right.
It's about working with the body to restore balance.
But something else that really struck me about this text was how much it emphasizes the ethics
absolutely.
of acupuncture.
Yes.
It wasn't just about
the technical skills.
No, it was about the practitioner's character.
The character
and intentions.
Yes, and their intention.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They talk about the importance of treating the root cause.
Yes, the root cause
of an illness.
Not just the symptom.
Not just the symptoms.
Right.
And aligning with natural laws.
Right, aligning with natural law.
To support the body's own healing capacity.
That's a really important point.
It's a very holistic approach.
It is.
And it speaks to this deep respect for the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely.
And they even mention this really fascinating concept of evil Qi.
Right. Evil Qi.
And I'm not talking about like some spooky supernatural force here.
No.
But what did they mean?
What do they mean by that?
By evil Qi, and how did they see it impacting health?
It's a really interesting concept.
Yeah.
Evil Qi essentially represents anything that disrupts the body's natural harmony. Whether it's external pathogens, like bacteria, or viruses, or internal factors, like negative emotions, stress, or even poor lifestyle choices.
So even thousands of years ago, they understood that our thoughts and emotions could actually throw our bodies out of whack.
Could impact our physical health.
Yeah. It's mind-blowing. It is when you think about how much this aligns with modern research on stress anxiety and even things like
chronic inflammation.
All
of those things can wreak havoc on our physical health.
And we know that now.
We do.
Through,
research. Yeah, modern research.
It's incredible.
It is incredible.
And it makes you wonder if ancient practitioners had a more holistic understanding
I think so.
of the mind-body connection.
They did.
Than we give them credit for.
Absolutely.
They seem to grasp that treating the whole person meant addressing not just the physical symptoms, but also the
emotional and spiritual aspects.
Well-being. Aspects of well-being.
Yeah.
Which makes their emphasis on the practitioner's character.
Absolutely.
All the more relevant.
Very relevant.
Remember they mentioned qualities like eloquence, calmness, and a discerning mind.
Those are really important.
These aren't just nice to haves.
No, they're not.
They're essential.
For creating a space where patients feel safe and understood.
Safe and understood, exactly. Imagine going to an acupuncturist. Who's like anxious and scattered.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't feel
You'd probably feel less confident.
Yeah, less confident.
In their ability to help you. But if you encounter someone who is calm. Centered.
Yeah.
And truly listens to you.
And really listens to you.
That can make all the difference.
Yeah, that can make all the difference.
In your healing journey.
Absolutely.
It's like they understood that the practitioner's energy and presence could actually impact the patient's healing process.
It could impact the healing process.
And it reminds me how important it is.
Yeah, it is.
To find a healthcare provider in any field.
Yeah, in any field.
Who you feel comfortable with.
Absolutely.
And who you trust.
That you trust.
It's about that connection.
It is about that connection.
That sense of being seen and heard. Which can be just as powerful.
It can be just as powerful.
As any technique or treatment.
Absolutely.
But speaking of techniques.
Okay,
let's dive into the 5 shoot points.
Yes. The 5 shoe points.
This is where things start to get really interesting in terms of how acupuncture actually works.
Okay.
So what are these 5 shoe points?
Okay, so think of the 5 shoe points as specific access points.
Okay.
Along each meridian.
Right.
Kind of like key locations on a map. And what's fascinating is each point has a different energetic quality and function.
Okay.
Depending on its location along the meridian.
So it's not
a one-size-fits-all.
One-size-fits-all.
No.
Okay.
Well, not at all.
So it's not as simple as finding the right meridian and sticking a needle in.
No, there's a lot more nuance to it.
What kind of different effects?
Yeah, what kind of...
can be achieved?
By needling these specific points.
It depends on which point is being needled.
Okay.
And the technique used.
Okay.
For example, the text talks about using the Jing-Well points, which are located at the tips of the fingers and toes, to clear excess heat and calm the mind.
Interesting.
These points are like little pressure valves that can help release pent-up energy.
So it's almost like acupuncturists have a whole toolbox.
Yeah, they do.
Of techniques and points to work with.
They have a whole toolbox.
And they choose the right tools. Yeah.
Based on the individual needs.
Based on the individual needs of each patient. Exactly.
Okay, but how do they know which points to use?
That's a great question.
And which techniques to apply? It seems like it would take years of training.
It does. To master this level of knowledge.
To master this level of knowledge. Yeah. Absolutely.
The text itself is a testament.
The text itself is a testament.
To the depth and complexity.
To the depth and complexity of this ancient practice.
It
emphasizes the importance of studying the classics. Observing master practitioners. And honing one's skills.
Yes.
Through years of dedicated practice. This isn't something you can just pick up overnight.
No, you can't.
It requires a real commitment to learning.
It does.
And a deep respect. For the art and science of acupuncture. But something else that struck me about the text was its emphasis on respecting natural laws.
Right.
And working with the body's inherent healing capacity. It's not about forcing change.
No, it's not.
It's about guiding the body back into balance. The practitioner acts as a facilitator.
Yes, as a facilitator.
Creating the optimal conditions. For healing to occur naturally.
Exactly.
And that's where the ethical principles we discussed earlier come into play.
Right.
Treating the root cause.
Not
just the symptoms.
And
recognizing that true healing is a collaborative process. Between the practitioner and the patient. It's like they understood that the body has an innate wisdom and ability to heal itself. And the role of the practitioner is to support that process.
Exactly.
But I'm curious about those needling techniques, tonification, draining, and balancing. How do they actually work in practice?
Right.
What do those movements feel like?
Yeah, what do those movements feel like for the patient?
That's a great question.
It is a great question.
And one that I think we'll have to...
explore.
Explore in detail.
Yeah, in more detail.
When we come back.
Okay.
But for now, let's just take a moment to appreciate the depth and complexity of this ancient medical system. It wasn't just about sticking needles. Into people.
No.
It involved observation. Deep understanding of the body's energy systems. And a strong ethical foundation.
So much to uncover here.
Yeah, there really is. We were talking about all the qualities that a worthy practitioner
all those qualities
should have.
Yeah.
And it really got me thinking about how integral observation is in acupuncture.
Absolutely.
Even beyond what we might consider like
visual, beyond the visual, right?
Right. It's like they're saying, hey, open your senses.
Yeah, open all your senses.
They even specifically call out sharp eyesight.
Yeah.
Keen hearing.
Is
being essential.
Absolutely essential.
It makes you wonder if they were tuning into things.
Yeah, well, what are they?
That we, with all our modern instruments, might just like...
totally overlook?
Yeah.
It's fascinating that even today, certain branches of Chinese medicine still rely heavily on those sensory observations.
Like, for example...
think about tongue diagnosis.
Oh, yeah.
Where the color, texture... and even the coating on your tongue can provide insights into your internal health. Exactly.
That reminds me of how Western medicine is increasingly looking at biomarkers.
Biomarkers.
These like subtle changes in blood, saliva, or even breath that can reveal a lot about what's happening beneath the surface.
Exactly.
It's almost like we're rediscovering the importance of these subtle signs.
And these subtle signs.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like there's this convergence happening. With both ancient and modern medicine. Recognizing the value of these subtler forms of observation.
So let's circle back to the text.
Okay, let's circle back to
the text. Evil key.
Before the break.
Right.
And I'm really curious.
To unpack that concept further,
I mean,
on the surface it sounds
a little ominous.
A bit ominous, right?
Right. Evil guy.
But I'm sensing it's a lot more nuanced than just
It is more nuanced than that.
Okay.
You're exactly right.
Okay.
Remember, it's about anything that disrupts the body's natural harmony.
Right.
And while that could include external pathogens, like a cold or flu virus, the text also points to internal factors.
Okay.
They even mention 7 emotions.
Okay.
Joy, anger, worry.
Yeah.
Thought, sadness.
Wow.
Fear and fright as potential sources.
So it's not just imbalance.
About germs and viruses.
No.
They're recognizing that our emotional state can literally throw our body.
Their emotional state can impact our physical health.
Out of whack.
Yeah.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
When you think about how much this aligns.
With modern research on stress, anxiety, and even things like chronic inflammation.
Chronic inflammation. All of those things
we now know
can wreak havoc on our physical health.
Those things can really wreak havoc on our physical health.
They can.
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
And it makes you wonder if ancient practitioners had a more holistic understanding.
I think so.
Of the mind-body connection.
Than we give them credit for.
Yeah. They seem to grasp that treating the whole person meant addressing not just the physical symptoms, but also the emotional and spiritual aspects of well-being.
Which makes their emphasis on the practitioner's character all the more relevant.
Very relevant.
Remember they mentioned qualities.
Yeah.
Like eloquence, calmness, and a discerning mind.
Yeah.
Those aren't just nice to haves.
No, they're essential. They are
creating a space.
For creating that space.
Where patients
feel safe and understood. Imagine going to an acupuncturist.
Right. Can you imagine?
Who is anxious or scattered.
Right.
You would probably
I don't think I would.
Feel less confident.
Yeah, you wouldn't feel very confident.
In their ability to help you.
No.
But if you encounter someone who is calm. Centered. And truly listens to you.
And really listens.
That can make
all the difference in your healing journey.
It's
like they understood that the practitioner's energy.
The practitioner's energy.
Presence. Could actually impact the patient's healing process.
Absolutely it could.
And it reminds me of how important it is to find a healthcare provider. In any field. Who you feel comfortable with. And who you trust. It's about that connection.
It is about that connection.
That sense of being seen and heard.
Which
can be just as powerful.
It can be just as powerful as any technique or treatment. Absolutely.
But speaking of techniques.
Okay, let's dive into the 5 shoe points.
Let's dive into the 5 shoe points.
Right.
This is where things start to get really interesting.
This is where it gets interesting.
In terms of how acupuncture actually works.
Yes.
So what are these 5 shoe points?
Okay, so think of the 5 shoe points as specific access points.
Okay.
Along each meridian.
Okay.
Kind of like key locations on a map.
I like that analogy.
Yeah. And what's fascinating is each point has a different energetic quality. And function depending on its location along the meridian.
So it's not
one size fits all.
One size fits all.
No, not at all.
Okay.
There's a lot more to it than that.
So it's not as simple as just finding the right meridian and sticking a needle in.
No, it's much more nuanced than that.
What kind of different effects?
What kind of different effects?
Can be achieved by needling these specific points?
It depends on which point is being needled.
Okay.
And the technique used.
Okay.
For example, the text talks about using the Jingwell points, which are located at the tips of the fingers and toes.
Okay.
To clear excess heat and calm the mind.
Interesting.
These points are like little pressure valves.
Okay.
That can help release pent-up energy.
So it's almost like acupuncturists have
Yeah.
A whole toolbox.
You have a whole toolbox.
Of techniques and points to work with.
A whole toolbox of techniques and points.
And they choose the right tools based on the...
Based on the individual needs of each patient.
Individual needs of each patient.
Exactly.
Okay, but how do they know which points to use?
That's a great question.
Which techniques to apply?
It takes years of training.
It seems like it would take years of training.
It does.
To master this level of knowledge.
To master this level of knowledge.
The text itself is a testament.
The text is a testament.
To the depth and complexity of this ancient practice.
To the depth and complexity of this ancient practice.
It emphasizes the importance of studying the classics.
Right.
Observing master practitioners.
Observing master practitioners.
And honing one's skills.
Yes, honing your skills.
Through years of dedicated practice.
Through years of dedicated practice.
This isn't something you can just pick up overnight.
No, you can't.
It requires a real commitment to learning.
Absolutely.
And a deep respect for the art and science of acupuncture.
A deep respect for the art and science of acupuncture.
But something else that struck me about the text was its emphasis on respecting natural laws.
Right.
And working with the body's inherent healing capacity.
Healing capacity.
It's not about forcing change.
No, it's not about forcing change.
It's about guiding the body back into balance.
It's about guiding the body back into balance.
The practitioner acts as a facilitator.
Yes, as a facilitator.
Creating the optimal conditions for healing to occur naturally.
Exactly. Creating the optimal conditions for healing to occur naturally.
And that's where the ethical principles we discussed earlier come into play.
Right.
Treating the root cause.
Treating the root cause.
Not just the symptoms.
Not just the symptoms.
And recognizing that true healing is a collaborative process.
Yes, it's a collaborative process.
Between the practitioner and the patient.
Between the practitioner and the patient.
It's like they understood that the body has an innate wisdom.
Right, an innate wisdom.
And ability to heal itself.
And ability to heal itself.
And the role of the practitioner is to support that process.
Is to support that process.
But I'm curious about those needling techniques.
Yes.
Tonification, draining, and balancing.
Yeah.
How do they actually work in practice?
Right. How do they actually work?
What do those movements feel like for the patient?
Yeah. What do those movements feel like?
That's a great question.
It is a great question.
And one that we'll explore in detail when we return.
Okay.
But for now,
Like,
let's just take a moment to appreciate
yes,
the depth and complexity
the depth and complexity
of this ancient medical system.
It
wasn't just about sticking needles into people.
No, it wasn't just about sticking needles into people.
It involved observation, a deep understanding of the body's energy systems.
A deep understanding of the body's energy systems.
And a strong ethical foundation. Okay. So before the break, we were really starting to get into those needling techniques.
Yeah, those needling techniques.
Tonification, draining, and balancing.
Right.
And it's one thing to kind of grasp the concept.
Right.
But I'm curious to understand, like, what it actually feels like.
What it actually feels like.
For the person on the receiving end.
For the patient, right?
Yeah.
That's a great point. It's easy to get lost in the theory.
Right.
But ultimately, acupuncture is about real people experiencing real sensations.
Okay, so let's break down each technique.
Okay.
And imagine what you might feel if you were on that acupuncture table.
Sounds good.
So let's start with tonification.
Okay.
We talked about it being this, like, gentle lifting motion.
Right, gentle lifting motion.
With the needle.
With the needle.
Encouraging the flow of Qi towards the center of the body.
Towards the center of the body.
What would that feel like?
So imagine like a gentle tugging sensation.
Okay.
Almost like a tiny fish nibbling on a line.
Okay.
It's not painful.
Okay.
But you definitely feel a subtle pulling or drawing inward.
Gotcha.
Some people describe it as like a warm, tingling sensation.
Okay.
Like a surge of energy.
Okay.
Moving through the area.
So subtle, but definitely noticeable.
Subtle, but noticeable.
Okay, what about draining?
Okay.
We talked about that being more about dispersing excess Qi.
Excess Qi. So with draining, the sensation is a bit more pronounced.
Okay.
The practitioner uses circular motions and rapid rotation with the needle, which can create a sharper, more intense feeling.
Okay.
Some people describe it as a feeling of pressure being released, like a knot untying.
Gotcha.
Others might feel like a brief ache.
Okay.
Or a tingling sensation that radiates outward.
So still not necessarily painful.
Right.
But definitely more stimulating.
Yes, more stimulating. And then there's balancing.
Balanced.
Which is that middle ground.
Yes, that middle ground.
Between the two.
Between the two. So
yeah.
balancing is all about finding that sweet spot.
Okay.
So the sensations are generally more subtle and gentle.
Okay.
The practitioner is aiming to harmonize the flow of Carl.
Right.
So you might feel a gentle warmth.
Okay.
A subtle tingling.
Yeah.
Or even a sense of deep relaxation.
Okay.
As the needles do their work.
It's like they're gently nudging the body. Yeah, gently nudging the body.
Back into balance.
Back into balance.
Creating that feeling of harmony.
Creating that sense of harmony and ease.
And ease.
Exactly.
And that's what's so fascinating about acupuncture.
It is fascinating.
It's not just a physical experience.
No, it's not.
It often has this emotional and energetic component as well.
Absolutely.
Many people report feeling a sense of calm,
right,
clarity, or even emotional release after a treatment.
Yes.
It makes sense when you think about how interconnected everything is.
It does.
Our physical sensations, our emotions, our energy levels.
Absolutely.
Acupuncture seems to really tap into that.
It does.
Interconnectedness.
It taps into that interconnectedness.
Absolutely. And that's what makes the Yellow Emperor's classic of internal medicine such a valuable resource.
Such a valuable resource.
It reminds us that true healing isn't just about addressing the physical body.
No, it's not.
It's about understanding the whole person.
It's about understanding the whole person.
It's about recognizing the interplay of mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
And finding ways to restore balance on all levels.
On all levels.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes.
I'm so glad to hear that.
To the depth and complexity of this ancient practice. And remember, we've only just scratched the surface.
We've only just scratched the surface.
We have this incredible text.
There's
a whole world of wisdom waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely, a whole world of wisdom.
Within its pages.
Waiting to be discovered.
So to our listeners, I encourage you to keep exploring.
Yes, keep exploring.
Keep asking questions.
Keep asking questions.
And keep an open mind. The world of ancient Chinese medicine offers so much to learn.
It does.
And who knows, you might even uncover some ancient secrets.
You might.
That resonate with your own health journey.
And
as always, remember that true healing is a journey, not a destination.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Keep seeking knowledge. Keep listening to your body.
And
keep nurturing your overall well-being.